Hello, I'm Kelly. This is my channel, Incredible Anyway, where I talk about how to live an incredible life no matter what your circumstances are. And in this video, I'm going to be giving a bit of an update on my migraines while I get ready to give myself my migraine prevention medication injection, Ajovy. Ajovy is a CGRP inhibitor. I have lots of videos on this if you're interested. It is the syringe. It's not the pre-filled auto injector. I hate those. With Ajovy, it's the only one of the three, Emgality, Ajovy, and Aimovig, that has an option to do something different from the auto injector. Actually, this is what they had before they had the auto injector. My migraines have been worse lately, which has been frustrating. But I had an appointment with my migraine specialist. Today is Friday, it was on Monday. There's so much going on in my life. I feel like there's just layers of things. Instructions, they're really great instructions front and back. Alcohol prep pad, this in case we have any bleeding. And it's a tiny, tiny needle. I hadn't talked to my migraine specialist in quite a while because it was scheduling, like it ended up having to get canceled because of my brain surgery. And then it took this long to get into him. For a recurring patient, it was a very long time to wait. So this is likely going to be the last injection of Ajovy that I'm going to be taking because I don't think that it is helping like it used to, and this has been my experience with this class of medication, these CGRP inhibitors. Basically, since they became FDA approved in 2018, May of 2018, I probably will have you,
Oh, the FDA approved! Oh my gosh, the FDA approved the CGRP!
May 17th, 2018. It's gonna change the rest of our lives. It's like a new day.
This is the best day of my life. I mean, the next best day will be when I get to take that injection.
I started in June of 2018 on Aimovig, which was the first one, which was FDA approved. I feel like we're opening a door to a next chapter.
I have been officially prescribed the Aimovig.
Push down, click, let go of the blue button. So there's 3 injections. The other 2 don't have options to do a syringe, which I like this because it has the control. It's super easy. You don't have the needle flying into your body. Sorry if you like the syringes or auto injectors. To each his own, really. The 4th CGRP inhibitor is an IV medication. For reasons I don't necessarily understand, my migraine specialist rarely prescribes it. It's called Vyepti. My migraine specialist in Chicago really wanted me to be on Vyepti as soon as it became FDA approved because he was involved in the research for the FDA approval. And so he really believes in it. But because I have a port now, for some reason my migraine specialist is like, yeah, let's do this. Which it's only given 4 times a year, every 3 months. So it's not like if I didn't have a port, it wouldn't be a needle stick very often. But anyway, it is what it is. So he wants me to get that, but we don't know yet what my insurance is going to say. I have a feeling my insurance is going to say, well, let's be positive, right? I hope that they're able to convince the insurance to do it. He said that they don't often like to do it in the hospital because it's so expensive. They might do it in a standalone place or do it at home health. So we shall see. And he said that if they don't approve the Vyepti, that we will go back to the Aimovig. I'm not sure if my insurance will cover Aimovig, but we will see. Like I said, because this is definitely not helping like it used to. And this is my experience with these medications. And I've heard other people have this experience with CGRP inhibitors as well. It's just frustrating to have migraine pretty much every day and for the severity to be so much worse. So basically the frequency and severity of my migraines changed. I still get the IV infusions every week, and that definitely makes a difference in combination with the CGRP inhibitor. But when this fails, you know, IV infusions on their own aren't going to be the thing that helps me. Can you see how tiny the needle is? After I get the injection, I'm going to tell you about, I've been having post-craniotomy pain, so post-brain surgery pain, because I have a titanium plate in my head. So I'm going to tell you what he said about that. Starting motion. It's so funny. I just gave myself an IM injection of B12. This is so much easier. Just put it right in there. for my brain surgery, they had to remove my skull to get to my brain. And when they put the skull back, they put a titanium plate on the skull and used screws to screw the skull to the other skull that, you know, are there. So now I have a titanium plate. With the weather, especially when the barometric pressure changes, but when there's a front or when there's a huge temperature change, I feel it in my head. Post-occipital headache is very common for this surgery. Thankfully, I don't have that. I only have this really, I can have some discomfort sometimes, but I'm used to living with chronic pain, so it's not like that doesn't stick out to me. It's these times when the weather changes that really, really affects me. It can be unbearable. It is very, very unbearable to live with. My primary care, she has been treating this pain. He's a neurologist that specializes in treating headaches and migraines. I thought, well, why not ask him? And his perspective was that, in his experience, he hasn't found that patients have responded to medication well when they've had post-craniotomy pain, which I respect. What was frustrating is that he wasn't willing to try any sort of treatment with me. First of all, everybody's different, right? So you never know if something might help someone. But also, hope is so important when treating, I think, pain especially, because if you have the hope that it might get better, at least in my experience, it's helped me to endure longer. I mean, before these CGRP inhibitors, I tried over 100 medications for migraine prevention. I tried treatment. I tried all sorts of out-of-the-box treatments. I tried random weird things. I'm not going to list it all, but I've tried so many things, and I was still bedbound by daily intractable migraine. So these CGRP inhibitors, while I still deal with significant severe migraines, they have changed the game for me. I mean, I'm no longer in that unbearable place. But before these CGRP inhibitors were a thing in 2018, I was diagnosed with intractable migraine in 2006. So I had a really long time of trying things that just didn't work. But if my doctor had been very black and white and been like, well, nobody responds to this treatment, then I never would have had hope that we would find something. And I would have been really depressed, wondering, am I ever going to find anything that helps me? I believe that we could find something that helps me. And so it's frustrating for me that my physician is very black and white. He's been very black and white since I met him, and I don't like that about him. My other physician in Chicago that I loved was very gray, and he operated in gray. He also lived with migraines, so I think that he understood it maybe in a way that perhaps other doctors may not understand. He also had vertigo. Anyway, I'm going to be seeing my primary care physician, and she and I will work on trying different treatments together. Maybe the next time I talk to the migraine specialist, I can bring it up again and say, hey, can we try something? Sometimes in the moment of an appointment, I don't know if you guys are like this, but in the moment of a doctor appointment, even if I write out a list of things I want to talk about, I take notes, but sometimes I don't process what the doctor is saying to me in the moment. And these appointments go so fast and they're so timely, and especially this doctor, he wants to move along. I've had other doctors who will take it a little bit slower. He just wants to keep moving. And so I don't process what has been said to me in the moment. So I don't think to say back, hey, maybe we could try this. If the insurance approves the Vyepti, there are two different strengths of it. There's a 100 milligram and there's a 300 milligram. And he said he starts his patients out on 100 milligrams and does it for the first 2 doses. So that would be 6 months that I would be at this 100 milligram dose. And then I would talk to him, have an appointment with him, and then we would decide what I would be doing going forward with the doses after that. Would I stay at 100 or do I need to move up to the 300 milligram dose? We don't know when I'm going to get approved, if I'm going to get approved. That's why he wanted me to take this Ajovy today, because I was due for it. I was actually due for it yesterday, but I was so sick yesterday. I actually forgot to do it. I was sitting out, but I just forgot. He said, go ahead and take it. And then I will start the Vyepti a month from when I took it today. I'll start it a month from today if I get approved. If not, I'll start Aimovig a month from today and go back to those darn auto injectors. Does anybody else hate those auto injectors? Anybody? Am I just the only one? This shot feels like nothing and I'm in control of it. Like, whereas the auto injector, you have to press a button and it like goes boom with that needle, and I hate it so much. Okay, I don't want to traumatize people, because you know what? If you are an auto injector, you probably are like, well, this is my only choice, Kelly. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them. I have a migraine right now and it is getting worse. There's a cold front about to hit, so I can feel it coming. In times like this, I try to pre-treat with a triptan. I try to be really just on top of things, so I'm crashing. There's just a lot going on in my life right now. There's a lot of layers. Maybe I will talk about it someday, maybe I won't. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I'm Kelly. Remember, you are not alone. I really do want you to know that you're not alone. Maybe hearing that just remind you that people want to be there for you. Like, I know in my life, I want to be there for people when they're going through hard times. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. I want to know, and I want to love that person through it. And I may be limited in how I can respond, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to know, and it doesn't mean that I don't want to support somebody. So I just say that to remind you that if you are going through something and you're dealing with it by yourself, please go talk to somebody else about it. Please reach out. Please know that there are people that care. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. I love you guys. Bye.
You are not alone in this world. You are not alone. You are not alone in this world. You are not